What up, world? Welcome to another exciting episode of The Kickback, where we just chill, talk a little shit, possibly drink a little bit. So, um, I just want to go ahead and get this episode started. Um, so today we basically going to be talking about. Well, I'm going to be talking about um just relationships and what society expects of you, because I've been seeing a lot of posts and a lot of talk lately. Um, and even this morning when I got off work, one of the Lyft drivers was talking to me, and he was saying that yada yada yada. I really wasn't trying to listen to him because I was tired and I just want to listen to my music and zone the fuck out. So, with that being said, though, um, excuse me, let me adjust this camera the right way. So, with that being said, though, I have a question. When did this 50-50 uh I don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory. I don't want to go grab a burger. I don't want to go to Starbucks. I don't want to go to a bookstore. I don't even think they have bookstores anymore. But like, when did it become? When did it become such a downfall for issues like? Well, not issues, but like, when did it become such a downfall for reasons to meet a person and y'all vibing, and then you ask questions, you want to get to know that person more, you want to vibe out with them, you want to understand them as a person. So my thing was, you know it's okay to go out to on a coffee date, or go to Starbucks, or go to a bookstore, or sometimes bookstores even have what's inside of them, coffee shops. Like, when I was growing up, I could have swore I remember there was a coffee shop inside of this Barnes and Noble in a little shopping center where I used to live in Willow Grove, and that was I could have swore that that was inside there. But my question is, when did society get away from that? Like, when did it become such a bad thing to take a female out on a date and take her to the bookstore, or even take her to, like, out to grab a cup of coffee or something like that? Like, I don't understand that. And then the whole 50-50 thing. Like, a lot of people are, well, yeah, some people, actually, a lot of people are upset about the fact that Gabrielle Union said what she said about, you know, being in a, going 50-50 with Dwayne Wade and, like, their household or whatever. So, for those of y'all that don't know, Dwayne Wade um, was on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and Shannon had asked him. He said, "Dwayne, what made you? Well, not what made you, but what led to you and Gabrielle Union? What led to Gabby saying about the 50-50 split?" And he explained, like we had an argument, and I said some shit I shouldn't have said, and I told her I own everything in this house, and then that's when she got upset and she got offended. So, with that being said, that's when she decided, I don't want I don't want a person to have full control over me and what I do in a house that we live in together. Now, with that being said, I understand that, because if you're in a relationship, shit should not you should not have to argue about what gets paid or what doesn't get paid, or whatever the case is. Now, if y'all are creating a budget and you understand, like, okay, babe, I can afford to pay, the water bill, the light bill, our phone bill, shit like that. Even sometimes couples don't have the same phone plan. They have, like, separate phones. But at the same time, it's to me it's okay to split shit down the middle. Like, I don't understand why it became such an issue to where two people live in a house, and then they decide to split shit down the middle. Like, I don't understand why that became such a really big issue. I really don't understand it, and I need somebody to help me understand that. because to me that just doesn't make sense. If y'all are both in love and y'all both live in a house together or an apartment, why not split it down the middle? Like, look, she may pay for, the streaming services and the lights and whatever, and then the guy pays for the water, the the heat, the security system if you have one, or TV, whatever. Like it should, to me, it should be like that, but then sometimes it shouldn't. Like, it all depends on the person and their dynamic. And then I believe that a lot of that has to come from people having open, difficult conversations. Now, what I mean by that is, if, let's say, a female, she's about 23, 24, maybe just got out of college, or maybe just starting to, like, find her footing in a stable job, and, she's possibly dating someone, and, they're in love and they're moving in, they're, doing things the cordial way. And then they have the topic of, well, babe, if we're going to be living together, how about we split the bills down the middle, and, I pay for the things that I like and you pay for the things that you like. Meaning, uh, if she likes to watch Netflix or Hulu or whatever the case is, she'll pay for the streaming services. And then, since that takes up a lot of electricity, she'll say, hey, I pay for the electricity. The guy says, cool. So the guy says, since I like to cook, I'll pay for, the heating and, the water bill and stuff like that. And then, you know, we come together and then we pay the rent. How either you'll split it down the middle, or, he may say, you know what, I asked you to move in with me, let me go ahead and pay the rent. Shit like that, it makes sense because you have to have open, difficult conversations. And a lot of people say that they want communication, when sometimes, because I know from personal experience, me and one of my exes didn't communicate very well at all. And it was a pretty fucked up relationship at the end. God damn, I need a fucking haircut. But anyway, so, I paid for the rent because my rent at the time was, I believe it went up to 900. It was either 850 or 900. I can't remember. But this was back in like 2000, between 2015 and 2017. I can't remember, what year the rent went up. But anyway, so I paid for the rent because I lived there and that was my apartment. My name was on the lease. Her name wasn't on the lease at the time. And we didn't, talk about, we didn't have conversations about, okay, well, if you're going to live here, or if if you do live here, or if you come over here a lot, would you mind just paying X, Y, and Z? Which, it makes sense. But I don't think that a man should be like, oh well, since I live here, since you moved in with me, I gotta pay the rent, or whatever the case is. Well, not necessarily since I live here and you just moved in, but I mean as far as like if y'all found a place together, and then y'all decide to split shit down the middle. Like, I believe, I honestly believe that people really focus too much on social media. And what you see on social media is not always peaches and cream. You may not always see somebody having a disagreement, or somebody arguing, or somebody doing this, or somebody doing that, or whatever the case is, because every relationship is different and people don't seem to understand that. And for people to understand that, you gotta stop focusing on what other people have and focus on what you have. Just because you have one thing doesn't mean that another person has another thing. Or because another person does something doesn't mean that you should have to do that same exact thing. Because people are not the same. Case in point, when men and women are not the same. We are on two different wavelengths. Like, wavelengths. If that if that makes any sense. So what I mean by that is, um, let's say let's say a woman wants to go to a basketball game, and the basketball game is what, maybe $200, some shit like that. But the guy wants to go to a football game, and it's the guy's favorite football team against their biggest rivalry. So okay, it's like he wants to go to the Eagles game, and the Eagles are playing the Cowboys. So they flip a coin, and just because this couple is on social media and they decide to flip a coin, doesn't mean that the next couple should be like, oh well, we should flip a coin too. Because what if she really likes basketball, and what if that's really like her favorite basketball team playing against their biggest rivalry? Like, what if that's the Lakers playing against the Celtics? Shit like that. But I think people need to stop focusing on social media so much, because it's a different dynamic that works for two different people, and those two different people are not the same. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. But um that was just my take on it. And then there's this video circling around the internet, well, that I saw on, I believe, Twitter and Instagram. Um, this woman had said that a guy had taken her out to Shake Shack. I believe that's what it's called. Yeah. So the guy took her out to Shake Shack. Guy spent excuse me. Guy spent X amount of money to take her out to Shake Shack, and she seemed ungrateful. Now, I don't know what happened or what their dynamic was, or what. I don't know. I didn't dig too much into it, because in my mind, the relationship or whatever the talking stages cease to exist at that point, because I don't understand why people decide to put everything on. I don't understand. Damn, that's crazy. My bad. I'm watching a movie called Dread, and I never saw it, and like these people just got thrown off a building. But anyway, so in the video, she was like, "Look where he took me, y'all. He took me to Shake Shack, and he didn't even spend money on me. He didn't take me to a restaurant. He didn't do this. He didn't do that." My whole thing was, why, like, remember that list that came out, like the places that a woman deemed are unacceptable? Like, I believe it was Cheesecake Factory, TGI Fridays, Applebee's, a bowling alley, a skate park, or not like a skate park, but like a roller rink, and some other places. I can't really remember. And a lot of guys were like, "You don't like Applebee's? You don't like the all you can eat shrimp? The all you can eat the with a 2 for 20? Like, that seems like a pretty good deal. Like, I mean, what you want? You want somebody to fly you out the country, take you to the Bahamas, take you to Turks and Caicos, the Maldives, Bali, San Tropez, Cuba, uh, Brazil, Mexico, places like that. Like, y'all want somebody to fly y'all out to those places and make it known. But my thing is, like, when did that become such a weird thing? Like, it's weird because I was born in '89, and I grew up in the '90s, and I started dating around 2005, 5 or 6. I can't really remember, but you know, the people that I did date, it was either, you want to go to the movies? Sure, let's go to the movies. You want to go to Chick-fil-A? Sure, let's go to Chick-fil-A. You want to just hang out at my house, maybe watch a couple movies? Cool. That's something we did. Or we would talk on the phone. I understand times have changed, but now it's like these new people, like born after, I, I think 2000, 2010 or 2015, I want to say. Like, it's just weird where where shit went. Like, I've never, well, this is my only time being alive, but it's like I've never, oh, excuse me, I've never heard of that being such a weird thing to take somebody out to TGI Fridays or Applebee's or whatever the case is. Like, I've never ever seen that. And, well, I've never seen, of course, I've never seen it, but it's just, it's like, when did that become such a thing? Like, why? You can't take a motherfucker out to Applebee's? Applebee's? And that's just weird to me. And I'm just like, whoa. Like, that's different. And then I don't understand. There's a lot of things that I don't understand. And that's one of them. The second thing is, I don't understand why people feel so entitled to just stupid shit. Like, I don't, like, when did this country become so soft? Like, I'm like, people are saying, "Oh, don't yell at me," or "Don't talk to me." Like, granted, I've said don't. I've worked in customer service, so I've asked a couple people, "Sir, can you please calm down?" or "Sir, don't don't cuss at me," or shit like that. Because I don't like that. Like, I didn't cuss at you, so what gives you the right to cuss at me? You got to give respect to get respect. So in that aspect, I'm just like, bro, when do people become so butthurt? Like, oh, my feelings hurt, or oh, you said this, or oh, you said that. Prime example: I worked at a Subaru dealership, and me and another coworker of mine who happened to be of the fair skin, we were just having friendly banter. We were just going back and forth, and she said something. She was like, you keep messing with me, I'm gonna call the cops. And I was like, oh, you gonna be a Karen? And like 4 or 5 people laughed, and I smiled because I didn't mean it. Like, why would you call the cops on me? Like, out of all people, me. And I know what it was, and she knew what it was. We were just playing around. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing bad, or it wasn't nothing like, oh, well, you robbed me or you stole my money. It wasn't nothing like that. And then come to find out, like a day later, somebody had said something like, oh, well, you know, you called her a Karen or whatever, and I was just standing there like, huh? Like, you've got to be shitting me. Like, you can't have friendly banter with people at work. And this person that said it didn't have. I know that there was nothing to do with them, because why would you say something that has nothing to do with you? Then again, I'm the type of person, if I have an issue with you, I want you to come say it to me. Don't stand behind closed doors and start boohoo crying. If you got an issue with me, come talk to me. We grown, right? We are grown, right? So why can't you come talk to me? Why can't we be adults and talk shit out? But people don't want to do that. People are so butthurt, and oh, well, you can't yell at my kid, or you can't do this or you can't do that. Which leads me to my next topic: disciplining your children. I don't understand why people can't discipline their children. Now, there's a difference between fighting your child like you don't know him. Like, come on now, like you know that's a little you. But I mean, as far as like the aspect of like your child stole something, and you know, um, your child stole something, and come to find out when y'all get home, you see like what they stole. So you pop them or you spank them, you do whatever you do. Like, as you get older, you can't be stealing shit because like you could go to jail for that. But then it's like people are like, don't yell at my child, don't discipline my child. I'll take care of my child myself. What? Like, your child out here, I don't know if anybody watches this is from Philly, but people was out here playing a knockout game like a couple years ago, or several years ago. And then other people are going around stealing people's cars, and then other people are going around, just doing dumbass acts of violence. Like, bro, for what? Why? And then as soon as something happens to that father or son's father or daughter, Father or mother's child, as soon as something happens to them, then people are like, well, oh, well, he was such a good kid. He did this, he did that. Your child was not such a good kid. What you thought was good, he just put that shit on for you. As soon as he left out that door, he turned into a whole fucking demon. Me personally, I don't say shit. I mind my business. I stay the fuck for. I stay out of dumb shit. I stay in the house. I'm a homebody. I will watch TV, go out to get my little Dunkin' Donuts, and then that's that. I don't bother nobody. I do what we call shut the fuck up and mind my business. So I don't understand where that took that dumbass turn. And I'm just like, bruh, like all of this shit, like I feel like the world went to hell in a handbasket. And a lot of people are gonna say that I'm old for saying that, but it's the fucking truth. Like if you grew up in the '90s, to me that was the best decade fucking ever. Because you had, um, what is it? We had Saturday morning cartoons. We actually played the fuck outside, and we had great food. Pizza Hut was the go-to on a Friday night. I'm sorry, Pizza Hut, Burger King, Wendy's when they had the when the cups would be yellow instead of red. McDonald's had the supersize. It tastes different. Oh man, everything about the '90s was so much better, and it just hit completely different. And it's just where the fuck this shit go? Like where the fuck did we go wrong at? And I'm just like, where the fuck did shit go wrong? It's so stupid. But, you know, I really don't understand it. Maybe because I'm older. But I'm not really that old, but I'm at 35. Well, I will be 35. So I'm right there on the edge. I'm right there in the middle between I'll go out and have fun, or I'll just keep my ass in the house on a Friday night and just chill and drink me a little bit of wine, watch me some movies, and I'll be fucking happy. But it's weird. Like the world has changed so much, and it's like my family talks about. Well, sometimes my family talks about, having children, and they ask me like, when am I gonna have kids or whatever, and then I tell them like I don't know. Like I honestly haven't found or haven't met the right woman to have children with. But I will say this: I personally don't want to raise a child in today's society. I really don't, because the world ain't gonna get is the world's gonna get a whole lot shittier before it gets better. So that's my whole thing. The world's gonna get shittier before it gets better. But I would like to have a child in the near future. I want to say before I turn maybe 45. Give me about 10 years, but I mean, it's just the luck of the draw. So I really can't pinpoint exactly when I want it to happen or who I want to have children with. So, but that was my topic in today's episode of the Kickback Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, leave questions. I do have an email for the podcast. The email is kickbackpodcast2024 at gmail.com. That is KICKBACK PODCAST 2024 at gmail.com. So you could, send questions, send Yeah, you can send questions. You can respond back to videos that I have done. You could tell. You could give me helpful tense. You could give me helpful hints on how to make it a better podcast, and you know just how to. Oh, I'm gonna add a new segment too, probably in the next podcast. So, um, yeah, you could just give helpful hints. You could write a message saying thank you or whatever the case is. You could just basically open up, and I will respond back. And until my homie Mike, until we get that situated and figured out, we'll we'll keep you posted. Well, I will keep you posted and let you know when he's going to be coming on to the podcast. Um, but other than that, thank you. This has been a fun, exciting episode. I hope you like it. I hope you subscribe. Hope you comment, and I hope you share it with your friends. You can follow me on TikTok at Bam Bam. You can follow me on Instagram at Big underscore Mac underscore J. It's a picture of I believe, a 2024 Mac. It is me. I will respond back. And subscribe to this YouTube channel. And that's all. Thanks, folks.